Hi, this is John, and today we are taking piano accompaniment patterns 12 and 13. And we're going to be using some jazz chords. So this is kind of a beginning lesson for jazz piano. And this kind of accompaniment pattern works really well for backing yourself up when you sing jazz songs. So now we are going to take a work song, and the work song is Mary Had a Little Lamb. But don't panic, it's not that bad, especially when you jazz it up. And it's a really good song to learn how to play jazz chords. Excellent song to learn how to play your accompaniment patterns. Now, one thing I want to mention before I get started is the chair or the stool that you use to sit on when you play the piano makes a big difference when you're playing, and how close you are to the keyboard, how close you are to the piano. Right now I'm way too close, way too close. You need to have your arms at like a 90-degree angle. So when you play the piano, the keys should be out here where my fingers are. But because of the camera, I got to bring my hands in like this. It makes it more difficult to play. And if you're sitting too low, then your hands are up like this. It's no good. If you're sitting too high, your hands are like that. You want your bench to be just at the right level where your arms and hands are right at a 90-degree angle. So anyhow, this is kind of uncomfortable sitting too close to the keyboard, but this is the best position for the camera. But let's go ahead and start. Now, I'm going to remind you again to download the sheet music, create a notebook, use the document protectors, get a 3-ring binder, and insert your lessons in a notebook. That way you always have it, and it's more organized, and you're more likely to use this music and more likely to learn. So we're going to start off with this handout here. It would be good that you actually download the handout before you begin the lesson so you can look at it. But we're going to begin with this particular music notation right here. These are the chords. These are the jazz chords we use for the key of C. Now, if you were in the key of F or the key of A flat, the key of E flat, you would use a different set of chords. But you can play almost any song using these particular jazz chords. Now, what are jazz chords? Jazz chords are extended chords. They're using double chords. For example, let's say I play a C7 in my left hand. But what if I add a D chord in my right hand? That's two different chords together. And this is what you get. That's a jazz chord. It's a combination of two different chords frequently. Or it's an extension. For example, here is a C minor 7th chord, but here is an E minor chord with it. Two different chords together. And so that's kind of a rough definition of what I call jazz chords. So we're studying jazz chords in the key of C. So you could take any song, even if the song was in the key of A flat, just change it to the key of C, and you could use these jazz chords to make it sound rich, to make it sound jazzy, in other words. So now if you wanted to play a song in the key of A major, you would have to use a whole set of jazz chords. You just have to transpose them, move them up a couple of steps. But let's get back to the key of C. These are your jazz chords. C major 7th, play like this. C, E, G, and add the 7th note of the scale. Then D minor 7th is just one key to the right. Then E minor 7th. Now this is really awkward because of the way I'm sitting on this chair. Then F major 7th, then D minor 7th, I'm sorry, then F diminished 7th, E minor 7th, E diminished 7th, then D minor 7th, D diminished 7th, G7, a C6 like this, and then a C diminished 7th, D minor 7th, D diminished 7th, and C major 7th. So like I say, you could take any song and use this these chords to jazz up any song, but it's got to be in the key of C. And so what's interesting is you could improvise using these chords. And I need to change my position here just a minute. Okay, I'm inserting this video here to show you how I use these pads so I can sit up higher, so I have a better position with my hands. And this is the setup for videotaping. Got the camera way up here. And so your body position makes a big difference in the way you play. So back to the lesson. Okay, we're back. So I was talking about improvising. So let's take these chords and we'll do some improvisation. Okay, there's that chord I talked about in the beginning. It's a C 13th. Now, so work on these chords and you can just kind of practice ad-libbing. Now, so what you want to do to improvise is, if you're playing basically all the white keys, you can play any note, almost any note in a C scale. But if you're playing a chord with the black keys, such as E diminished 7th, 2 black keys, then you can start playing the black keys. Now I'm coming back to all white keys. Now I'm playing black keys, white keys. Now I'm going to play black keys. That's a little bit of a so that's the basic rule here, is all white keys play the notes of a C scale. If you have a chord with the black keys, you want to play white and black keys. White keys, black keys, white keys. So you'll have fun improvising. So now that's the key of C. But if you go the key of D, you're going to have a whole set of brand new chords, but there'll be you just be moving up a full step for the key of D, and so but relatively it's the same chords, just in a different key signature. Now let's begin the song here, the work song. So work on those chords, and work on both hands. C major 7th. And then D minor 7th, and then E minor 7th, F major 7th. Now here comes the black keys. We're going to play F diminished 7th, E minor 7th. Now we're going to play E diminished 7th, and then D minor 7th, and now D diminished 7th, G 7th, C 6. And so on. Okay, now let's go back to the next handout in your download, and we're going to apply these same chords to Mary Had a Little Lamb. But you could use these chords on a song like Green Sleeves or Misty or She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain, or I Left My Heart in San Francisco. You could use these chords for any song, but you have to put the song in the key of C to do it. And that's what we're working with. Now, so Mary Had a Little Lamb, you know the melody, really easy. So, it's just the first 5 notes of a C scale. Like that. And all you have to do is supply the chords. Now, one thing I did for beginners is I use the letter notes, the alpha notes. You have the letter name of the note embedded in the head of the note, and it makes it easy to read the chords. So this is really designed for beginners who want to get their feet, involved in a little bit of jazz. So we'll play this like this. So. Black keys there. Black keys again. White keys. Black keys. White keys. Now that chord is not added on there, but if you want to learn that chord, it's really easy. You got a C7 in your left hand, just a D major in the right hand. All right, so you can work on that, easy to do. And now the next thing we want to do is take these chords and try some patterns. So accompaniment pattern number 12 and number 13. So in accompaniment pattern number 12, now here we have Mary Had a Little Lamb, but we're going to sing it and we're going to use the accompaniment patterns. So it begins with number 12. It's a walk down bass. And when you play jazz, you use a lot of walk down basses, walk up basses. And then we have a walk up chord progression for number 13. So it begins with pattern number 12. It's not listed, but that is pattern number 12. First 2 measures is pattern number 12, and then measure 3 would be pattern number 13. And measure number 4 would also be pattern number 13. And then we go back to pattern number 12, again, and then a little bit of 13, and then 13. So, those are 2 new patterns. Now let's discuss these patterns. Pattern number 12, we take a C chord. And we just, we've had this pattern before like this. See, that was, I think, pattern number 5 or 6. Like that. And it was pinky, thumb, chord, thumb, and then the next measure would be middle finger, thumb, chord, thumb. So go back and review that. But it's written down for you here. But instead of staying on the same bass note, that, we are going to walk that bass note down to the left, and that's accompaniment pattern number 12. Like that. That's how you do that. And you can do it with any chord. Or that's a walk down bass. Now, number 13 is a walk up chord progression. So now, in measure number 3 in the accompaniment pattern, we have left hand playing a D minor chord, but we add different chords to this D minor chord, and that's where jazz comes in. So the right hand will play a D minor chord with a left hand D minor chord, and they match match, don't they? But then the right hand will move over to an F chord. So now we have two different chords. We have D minor chord in the left hand, but an F chord in the right hand. And that gives us kind of a jazzy sound. And then we'll take another different chord in the right hand, A minor chord. So we have D minor in the right hand, F chord, and A minor chord. So what we do is apply that to like this. And you always come back to that thumb, that left thumb. So it's pinky, thumb, chord, left thumb, chord, change the chord, left thumb, change the chord, and start over again. Or you just keep it constant like this. Like that. So now we want to sing this song using this accompaniment pattern. Okay, so we're going to sing this, and it's in the key of C, and I don't sing very well in the key of C. My favorite range to sing is the key of F. That's one thing you have to do is find out your vocal range. And if you are a baritone, you know, you can sing down here on C, La. It's too low for me to sing. I can sing it, but it doesn't resonate. It doesn't have any power. La. Baritone sing over here. B, B. And then I'm going to really lose it here. La. So C is about as low as I can get. So my favorite range is from F. Start at F, go to F. La, 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 la. But you know, a lot of singers, their range is from E flat to E flat. And that's probably a better range for me than F to F. But the problem playing in the key of E flat is you have 3 flats. And so it's a little bit more difficult to play because you're playing the black keys. The black keys are harder to play because they're skinny. And you got to hit them just right, you know, and you got to play white keys with the black keys. And try to get your finger in between those black keys can be problematic at times. So it's actually easier to play the piano playing your white keys, like in the key of C, key of F, key of G. You don't have to worry about the black keys getting in between them to play. Now, so probably the best vocal range for most people is E flat. You know, if you're a tenor or if you sing soprano, and but if you sing, if you're male and sing baritone or bass, you know, key of C is good for you. Key of A. Anyhow, let's get back to singing this song. Mary, here we go. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can hear me singing on that because it's hard for me to sing in the key of C. And but that's what it sounds like. Now I'll just play the piano accompaniment by itself like this. Now D minor chord, E minor 7th, back to that C, walk down bass. D minor 7th. Now we go to a G7. And now that walk-up chord with a C major 7th. Okay, so that's about it for this lesson. And so you get the free music, and because I'm giving you free music, you can we'll swap. We'll make a trade. I'll trade you the free music for a thumbs up, or you can subscribe or leave a comment. Do something. Fair exchange, right? All right, we will see you next time, and we'll be going into piano accompaniment number 14 and some other songs. So it's really better to take these simple folk songs to practice these techniques. Then once you get the technique down, you can apply it to more complicated songs like Misty or Moon River or Blue Moon or, Fascination, I Left My Heart in San Francisco, songs like that. Matter of fact, we might take, next time, take Autumn Leaves. But here's the thing about Autumn Leaves. I can show you the chord progression because chord progressions are not copyrighted, but I cannot show you the melody. So what I'll do for Autumn Leaves is I'll create a brand new melody, and then we'll use the chord structure of Autumn Leaves. And I'll even create brand new words. And that's something else I would like to talk about, is how to write new songs, write new lyrics. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do to get brand new lyrics going. Okay, we will see you next time, and have a good day, have a blessed day. And this is John signing off. Bye-bye for now.